This is episode 686, and today we're going to be exploring navigating life with a warrior mindset. And basically, this podcast is based on this warrior mindset, so we're going to dive into it a little bit deeper. So, today we're going to be diving into a topic that really resonates with me and why I started my coaching business and this podcast. And this is also comes within each of us on our journey, and that is the art of war and peace. So we're not talking about physical battles but the philosophical and mental aspects of conflict and peace within ourselves. There's been some Native American stories about the two wolves. The one you feed is the one that grows. But here we have this art of war and peace within us. So we're going to be diving into how to navigate life with a warrior mindset that focuses on the art of war and peace. So understanding these concepts can lead us to a more fulfilled and purpose-driven life. And isn't that really what it's all about, is finding our purpose and living with that purpose or in that purpose. So get a coffee, wine, beer, whatever your favorite beverage is. Sit back and let's explore this topic together. So what we have to understand is that there's a dual nature of the warrior mindset. And it's basically based on we think warriors are all about strength, aggression, and combat, and discipline, and all those other hard emotions, if you will. But a true warrior understands both war and peace, conflict and harmony. It's this balance that creates a fulfilled life. So it's the yin and yang, right? We have the light and the dark, the soft and the hard, the masculine and the feminine. All of these come together, and when they are embraced, this is basically that warrior mindset, when we can embrace all those contradictory conflicts, if you will. So we have this conflict within, and the battle we all fight, right? We all face internal battles at some point or another, if not every day. It might be a struggle with self-doubt, fear, past traumas, future events, whatever that may be. We may have worries, fears, anxiety, but it's a battle we all fight most of the time until we can grasp the concept of this warrior mindset. And so these internal conflicts can be just as challenging, if not more, than external battle. And when I say battle, it doesn't mean, again, going to war, but it could be externally doing physical things as opposed to internal, or asking a boss for a raise, or whatever that might be. But the internal conflicts and challenges really put the energy behind the action that we're taking. And when we realize that these thoughts are invisible, right? We are allowing invisible concepts, if you will, to either energize us, de-energize us, or hold us back. Here's the thing, though, that by recognizing and facing these conflicts is the first step towards peace. Because if we don't step towards these conflicts and challenges and face them head on, they're going to be kept alive in our mind. And then, we have the T for our thoughts lead to feelings, lead to actions, lead to results. So our thoughts are going to lead to unsupportive feelings, and we're going to take unsupportive actions and get unsupportive results. So what we want to do is, how do we stop this battle within us? Well, the first thing is to acknowledge our struggles. The first step in any battle is to acknowledge that this battle exists. Denial only strengthens the opponent, meaning our fear, our doubt. So we just have to say, yep, I'm afraid to talk to my boss. Yep, I'm feeling anxious about this. Yep, we want to acknowledge this struggle, because if we don't acknowledge it, it's still going to be there. So let's acknowledge it and then begin to work on it. And then understanding your fear, right? Fear is a natural part of being human, and understanding what scares you gives you power over it. Now, there's different types of fear, right? You're out in the jungle or out on a hike and a bear comes around. That's fear. That's survival fear, right? But when we start looking at things that really aren't physically challenging, whether asking the boss for a raise, having that difficult conversation with your significant other, setting up boundaries, telling people no, all of these are fears that may be holding us back, but we need to understand, why are we afraid of these things and what's the worst that could happen. One of the things I work with clients on is, and it may sound strange, is when it comes to fears and doubt is, what's the worst thing that could happen if you take this action? And then we discuss it and then go, are you okay with it? Could you live with it? Well, yeah, I could. So that, knowing that they can handle the worst case scenario after they talk to the boss about a raise or have that conversation with their significant other, and they're okay and they can live, then that fear goes away, right? And we want to fight with compassion. Be kind to yourself. Treat your internal conflicts with the same compassion you would offer a friend. But we also want to not go too soft and like, oh yeah, that's okay, I'm not in the mood for it, I'll do it tomorrow. And right, we want to be compassionate with the intention of resolving this conflict, not compassionate and being soft and delaying the conflict. So what we want to do is we want to have peace, and this is the art of inner harmony. So now, really, let's talk about this peace, right? Achieving inner peace is not about avoiding conflict, but about resolving it and finding balance. So avoiding means it's still there, because when you avoid something, you're acknowledging that it's still there. So the more you avoid it, the more it's going to be there, right? The more you resist, it persists. So what we want to do is we want to come to terms with it. We want to resolve it and find balance. And it's about understanding and accepting ourselves, flaws and all. It's okay if I am this way. But again, we want to be mindful that if we have a goal, let's just say of exercising or losing weight, and we're going to do it by exercising 5 times a week, and we go 2 weeks without working out, we don't want to accept that type of behavior, but what we want to do is find out, that would be the conflict. What's the conflict going on in it? And so then when we go to the gym 4 times and miss 1, hey, it's okay. We all have flaws. It's okay, as long as you keep taking action towards your goal. So this is, again, where that yin-yang comes in. And so let's take a look at finding, the art of inner harmony, right? It's practice mindfulness. I can't say enough about this. Being present helps us stay grounded and reduces the chaos in our minds. And there are so many ways, and it's a practice, not a perfect. You can practice mindfulness by walking in the forest, by going for a walk, eating food. Those are things that you can really be mindful about and practice that mindfulness strength. But when we are mindful, basically we're here now, and there's nothing pulling us out of the present moment. We're not thinking about the past. We're not thinking about the future. We're just enjoying and really being mindful about what is happening right now. And then embracing forgiveness. We need to let go of grudges against yourself and others can release a huge burden. There's a great book recently read called Radical Forgiveness, and it takes a different look at forgiveness that can be very helpful, because really forgiving is releasing it from us. It's not saying that what happened to us is okay from a person or an accident or whatever, but what we're doing is when we're doing forgiveness, we're releasing that disempowering energy, that energy that's choking us, so that we can find inner harmony. And then, we want to have this gratitude. Recognizing and appreciating the positives in our lives can shift our focus from conflict to peace. And even if you don't know what that is, just have a mantra. I'm thankful for and grateful for everything in my life. I'm thankful and grateful for everything in my life. Repeating that, when you fall asleep, when you're standing in line, when you're at a traffic light, whatever, that will help you cultivate this appreciation and gratitude. And that's how we can get to this inner harmony and find peace. So now what can we do as far as applying this warrior mindset in our daily life? So what we want to look at is about the small, consistent actions that build up over time. So we wanted to look at what's the minimum we can do right now that will help produce this warrior mindset, right, of resolving conflict and having inner peace. And what can we do right now? So we can have the power of routine. And I've talked about this before, that we want to look at having an AM routine, a PM routine, a work routine, and a sleep routine. And the AM routine is to energize us, focus us, and create a positive mindset. Our PM routine, we want to express gratitude for what has happened. We want to pre-plan our next day. And we also want to unplug and decompress. So those are the power of a routine. If we can embrace those concepts and we bookend our day in the morning and the PM, we will be able to master this warrior mindset. And then setting intentions, right? It's what do you want to have happen for the day? How do you want to enjoy the day? So we can set, if we don't set our intentions, we're going to be subjected to what the world wants us to feel. It can be a traffic jam. It could be, unfavorable feedback at work. But if we have our intention set, and this is a great part of your AM routine, is I'm going to have a happy, fulfilling day. I'm going to be a productive day, right? Whatever that is, it's kind of like affirming what you want to have happen and then mentally reviewing that. But setting those intentions, and if the intention for the whole day is too much, what is your intention for the morning? What is your intention for the afternoon? What is your intention for the evening? And if that's challenging, what's your intention for the next hour? And just keep setting those intention each hour. And that will also help develop this warrior mindset. And then we want to embrace war and peace, right? We want to embrace this conflict, this part that's challenging to us. Because without war, you can't be a warrior. So we need to have this conflict, and then we want to step out of it and have our peace. One of the interesting things with Native Americans, when they went to war, they put on their war paint. And so they embraced this war part. And when they came home, they had a ceremony to remove the war paint and come back into peace with the tribe. So they were very aware of these two different types of energy. And we need to do that too. And that's basically the foundation of a warrior mindset. So remember, warriors, the journey to inner peace is ongoing. It's always going to be there. It requires patience, persistence, and a lot of self-love and self-care. So next time you find yourself in the midst of an internal battle, remember that peace is just around the corner. Peace is just a breath away. Embrace your inner warrior and strive for that balance every day of war and peace. Of which wolf are you feeding? If you want to see the show notes on this podcast, you can visit warriormindcoach.com. While you're there, you can find some other useful information in the form of other podcasts, blog posts, and how to get in touch with me for a breakthrough session. Since you'll be on the internet, please follow me on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, and Pinterest under Warrior Mind Coach.